We'll call this Jackson County Commission, meeting to order, the June 8th, 2020. Roll call, Mr. Manning.
Mr. Rich,
Present.
Mr. Venable,
Present.
Ms. Gilbert,
Present.
and Mr. Sisk.
Present.
Chairman also present.
We'll have a prayer by Mr. Porter and a pledge by Mr. Venable.
Let's pray together. Lord God, our Father, we're blessed, just as we are every time we meet together, to have this chance to meet together in peace and harmony to discuss the matters that are important to this county. So we're thankful for that opportunity. We pray especially right now for our city and for our county and our state and our nation in this time of unrest. We just pray for peace, God, that you will lay your hands on everyone's heart and that they will know the peace that you can give them. And so we can cut down on the strife and the discord among us. Watch over us all, God, and bless us. In Christ's name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we'll need to approve the agenda of the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? There are no awards presentation. No one signed up to speak. No old business. We'll move right on to new business. Be a motion to approve the purchase of AEDs. We had talked about this last week. It'd be 3 for the courthouse and 2 for the jail.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second.
One
All-
quick discussion,
Okay,
just to clarify, the 2 for the jail coming out of their fund, like we discussed?
yes.
Okay, then go ahead, sorry.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Next be the reports from staff. Mr. Manning?
Just mention that we are fixing to start our 2021 budget discussions. Hard to believe it's already that time of year, but we'll be sending out some letters and trying to set up some appointments with department heads, so be looking for those to get started over the next couple of weeks or so. Thank you.
Mr. Campbell?
Thank you, Chairman. I don't have anything, but I'll be happy to answer any questions. If there are any questions about projects or updates or anything along those lines?
County Road 17, I know we
Yes,
got
please.
our letter to proceed from AlDOT, did we not?
Notice to proceed?
Notice to proceed, did we not?
Did it just come today?
I know, I got email, what was that on?
Now, the cultural resource assessment, we're waiting on to complete the categorical exclusions.
Okay,
That was all completed.
maybe that's what I said.
We're still awaiting, we're in the final stages of awaiting that notice to proceed, but we have mobilized, we'll be mobilizing this week equipment on site, so we're very near. As soon as we receive that notice, we will be able to begin work within those project limits.
County Road 118?
County Road 118 Bridge, the superstructure is set. We're working on connection details now, and then will be guardrail, and the approach paving is all that's lacking on that. I plan to do a more detailed update to you all about that project, when we're in the final stages of completion, but it's near completion also.
I knew we had an issue on County Road, was it 53?
53.
Did we get that resolved?
So that County Road, there was an issue over the weekend, and it was somewhat of an anomaly that happens from time to time, but not frequently. I attributed most of that, it was the liquid asphalt bled through the last layer of aggregate that had been placed. That was a large patch section that was done late in the paving season last year. It was a patch to an area that was recurring, problematic, stretch of road there in advance of the winter months. In some of those repairs, base failure repairs were done where it's excavated. There's a lot of clay in that base. It's mostly clay, matter of fact. With the wet weather that we've experienced, the aggregate that's placed in those excavations can sometimes act as like a French drain. So with that water entrapped, and I'm speculating that it was entrapped there, hot temps evaporating, we saw some liquefaction of that asphalt that was there and fairly young in its curing stage, so I think that was what attributed to it. There were some men that had to spread manufactured sand all over that roadway with shovels on Sunday. So they emptied 4 trucks by shovel to rectify that situation. So we're gonna monitor it and make sure we don't experience any additional bleeding of that. But there's a lot of traffic on that section of roadway. And with the tire compaction of what's out there now, the wheel compaction from the tires, this rain should help. Once if we experience a cure, which I think we will, we should have a fairly good finished product. Even though that's a hard way to get it.
I know this morning I've got, calls wanting to know, well, if we just leave it alone like that, the rain's gonna wash it off. I told them that we are gonna keep an eye on it and do further maintenance to it, whatever we're gonna do to fix the problem.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, make sure we don't end up in a situation like that.
Okay, thank you.
It happens occasionally, but it's rare.
Were there any more situations with the road you called me about the other day?
No, I thought we had all that taken care of. There were some concerns raised about the entrance to that business location. I feel like we have worked through all
I
the
haven't heard
details.
anything, so.
I met with the owner on site. We walked and talked and looked at the plans, and, to my knowledge, everything is accepted and we're good, and they are.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions about anything? I can update on Easter flood too. I know nobody asked about that, but that's kind of a big workload right now, so I can expound on that a little if it's okay.
Please.
So we have a couple obligations. The things you all have mentioned obviously are at play. Those are large projects, but we also have we're anticipating a FEMA declaration on this Easter flood. Okay, declared or not, there's still an immense amount of work out there that flood caused that it's gonna take us some time to get around to. So you may feel calls related to that work. You may feel complaints related to that work. So I wanna talk a little bit about how we prioritize and what our plans are. And if we need to go back to the drawing board on that, you know, we'll look to you guys for direction on that if we need to change. Kind of thinking too about crews, what we have out there and what they can be obligated to. So the routine maintenance part of that looks like a bridge crew, a 3 or 4 man bridge crew that's been obligated to 118. That won't stop, that'll just change locations, okay? So 18 bridge will be after 118. If we think about a road prep crew, that comes into play with our Rebuild Alabama obligations that we have in trying to get these roads ready to pave that we have committed to resurfacing. And then we also have a grade all crew that we can obligate to this Easter flood, along with all the routine complaints that come in for ditching, driveway pipes, cross drain maintenance, etc. Okay, so we've done some assessing, and that had to be done for FEMA, but also for in-house purposes and planning how we want to attack this. And right now, the work up on 98 was substantial, and a lot of this goes by what's dangerous and what needs to be dealt with immediately. So 98, it should finish up this week. Some on 298, then 258. After that's complete, there's a lot amount of work on 91 for a long stretch of that roadway. There's 53 and 54 that were in this Easter flood that need damage. The mountainside on 21, some of you have filled the complaints on that, I know. There's some damage out on 24, that's Boy Scout Road, some on 67 even. So that order I just said will be basically, right now, subject to change, the way we plan to address that. And a lot of that's by severity. So that was a lot of talk. Any questions about this flood part?
Yeah, so they did, I got a call today about 298, so they did call you and report that also. I told them I was gonna tell you today about the ditching and stuff on 298.
We're aware of ditching needed on 298. I haven't spoken with anyone today about that.
Okay, well, evidently somebody called, so. All right, thank you, Jonathan.
So Jonathan, the way I understand this, all these man hours and what we've been doing to complete this job is gonna be handled through FEMA, hopefully.
There's a possibility that There's kind of two components to that. So there's a statewide threshold that must be met, that's north of 7.3 million. And then we have by population, a county portion of that, which was north of 200,000. So back when we had our PDA meetings, we had passed the threshold with what we estimated our damages to be. So we gave our state and FEMA folks some preliminary information to substantiate our estimates, photos of the damage, where we'd done our assessments, etc. We met our threshold, and it was from our understanding of those discussions that the state would meet their threshold. Then the next part is they submit a package up for review, and then a decision is made whether there's a federal declaration or not. And as you recall, probably on last time with the February floods, it took a really long time before we know. So assuming that all goes well, this is kind of the low-hanging fruit of we can go out and perform this work, and if there's a declaration, it's fairly easy to get them satisfied on the information they need for reimbursement.
Good, thank you, John.
Mr. Porter,
I don't have anything, thanks.
Mr. Manning,
No, sir.
Mr. Smith,
No, sir.
Sheriff.
Just a little update on our protest we had Saturday. Everything went great. Nothing damaged. Might have been a small, very small amount of trash left out there when they left, but everybody couldn't ask for it to be any better.
Good deal. Rocky, you have anything? Next big report, comments from the commission. Yes. I know that. Let me say the same. Mr. Sis.
I'd just like to comment on what Johnson just went across there, these roads that we had the public works going out and doing the job, grabbing a shovel, so, you know, seems like every time we turn around, Mother Nature's throwing one at us, so it's a round the clock job, so commend them.
Ms. Gill.
I just wanted to give Mr. Campbell a heads up. I would like to come out and do a couple of ride-arounds again this summer.
Absolutely, thank you.
Mr. Reynolds.
No, I don't have anything to add tonight, thank you.
Mr. Ridge.
Yeah, Jonathan, I went out there a couple, 3 times there yesterday, and I felt sorry for the crews. I mean, it was hot. I mean, and I apologized to them, but you know, I said if it wasn't this, I wouldn't even dared to ask y'all to come out. But it was an emergency. I mean, if a motorcycle come around the curve, or you know, tire was 2 inches thick, liquefied. So, but we got it took care of, and I'll assure everybody out that way that we will keep an eye on it and it won't happen again.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, Jonathan. Tell the crew, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right, that's it. Short meeting today. We'll have our work session next Monday. I need to enter, motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor say aye. Aye. We're adjourned.